So let's talk about this shirt real fast. So for my other people that can't see, let's just talk about this shirt for a moment. Okay, can you guys see this shirt? Let's just talk about this shirt. I love my clients. They are so amazing. So the shirt is my business is my sugar daddy. What do you think about that? That's pretty funny, right? My business is my sugar daddy. I was working on the Life Wheel workshop that I work on with my clients. And what we do is we categorize 10 areas of our life, right? These 10 areas of life. And then we get clear on the type of relationship we have with them, the type of relationship we want to have with them, and understanding any blocks, understanding any negative feelings or beliefs that we have within segments of our life. And one of them was having security within the business. And it's funny because, everybody's looking for a sugar daddy. So why not turn your business into your sugar daddy or your sugar mama, right? So my business is my sugar daddy. And it's funny because we made it as part of our incantations and our morning ways of, we call it the introduction. So something that I work with clients is we create an introduction where every morning you're introducing yourself to yourself. And part of the introduction is my business is my sugar daddy. And so I didn't have, I guess until today, the courage to create it because I was like, oh, people are going to look at me like weird. So she made it. She sent it to me. I got it in the mail today. So now I just have to, do it. I'm doing it both wrong, right? Well, remember, you can change your mind today. You don't have to take your past and project it into the future. So the biggest thing is really getting clear. And this is what I want to talk to you guys about. So I see some of you on here that didn't make it into my goal setting workshop. Why were you not in the workshop? It was 2 hours of oh my gosh, everybody was just like, this is amazing. I have so much clarity. If you want the workshop, just message me. We'll send you the workshop. It is 2 hours, value, action-packed. We teach you how to get clear. And the one thing is everybody's setting these goals, right? And let me read you this real fast because I was watching something today. What's up, Colin? I know I owe you a call. So I was watching something today, and this is what it said. It was Prince oh my gosh, don't let me butcher the name. It says, am I living this brief time fully and authentically? What does it mean to live a full life? So when you're setting goals based on I want this car, I want this home, I want this yacht, I want this, is this alignment to living a full life? What is living a full life? All right. And this is why we got clear. In the goal setting workshop, we talked about getting clear on how you want to feel and then aligning every single thing that you're doing in your day-to-day life, aligning it with that, the external with the internal, and making sure that internal success matches with the external success. And one thing is we have negative feelings that can interfere with our goals because they blur our vision. All right. Now everybody's talking about manifestation. They're talking about this. They're talking about that. It's an equation of an elevated emotion. So actually believing in what you want and that you can have it and feeling as if you already have it. It's a combination of clarity, clear intention, and putting our attention on that intention, and then taking massive action, and then reverse engineering our goals, reverse engineering every single day. We're taking action as if we have it, or we're developing the skill set and the life skills that we need in order to sustain whatever those goals are. But to understand, let's get clear on what is a goal. A goal is an end towards which effort is directed. A goal is something that you want to do, to be, to have, and you don't have the resources today in this moment, time, money, permission to get it right this moment. It's something you'll work to get in the future after you figure out what resources you need in order to get it, achieve it, and do it. And so a goal is really what do I want? What do I want? It has a lot to do with vision. But when we have a negative emotion or a negative feeling towards what we want, it can blur our vision. It can blur our vision. And then what happens is we start to set up these backup goals. We start to set up these backup goals, and those are not motivating. Setting up backup goals are definitely not motivating, right? How many of you in here get what I'm saying? Like, have you ever really wanted something and you haven't achieved it, and therefore you set up backup goals because you stop believing in yourself? You stop believing that maybe you can have it. You stop believing that it's in your lifeline, it's in your lifetime. You know, what is that one thing or that something that you really want in multiple different areas of your life? So that's what that means. And here's the thing. So we have multiple categories. Like, there's 3 core types of goal setters. And this is something I want to bring to your attention as well. We're going to be live every single day, but I was pulling up statistics the other day, like before doing this goal setting workshop. And what blew me away was that they were saying 80%, I almost said 60, 80% of the population, 80%. So if we have, I think it was like 7.8 billion people, so we'll round it off to 8 billion people do not set goals. They don't set goals. That means they don't know what they want. That means they're not thinking for themselves. They're maybe drifting through life. They're dabbling through life, and they're not thinking for themselves. And if you're not thinking for yourself and you're not in control of your mind, somebody else will be. Somebody else will be in charge of your thoughts. Somebody else will be controlling your life. And what I've realized is a lot of times when people come to me is they come to learn to reclaim that control over their mind, because maybe anxiety has taken over or depression has taken over. I just saw this thing today on social media. It's all over that the guy Twitch, he committed suicide. And a lot of people don't realize the people that end up doing those type of things, you would never know. Smiles on their faces, like looking like they have a great life. But what's going on inside of the mind? What is it how we reclaim the control of the mind, of that mental chatter, of that mental dialogue? I have conversation assessments with people that you would never think of that look amazing on this outer world, and their inner world is like corrupt. So how do we gain clarity on what we want? And sometimes your goals are you just want to have harmony. Sometimes you just want harmony within your mind, within your heart, within your body, right? So getting clear on like, what is it that I want? Because you can get all these external things, but those external things do not line up to the internal things. So getting clear and understanding, what do I truly want? And it comes back to this quote. What does it mean to live a full life? What does a full life mean to you? Oh, what's up, Letty? So what does a full life mean to you? Am I living this brief time fully and authentically? Or have you just built this beautiful prison for yourself and you did what you had to do to survive, and you're still like created this space and you haven't really reevaluated where you want to go from this point on. And this time of the year is a great opportunity to pivot into your next level upgrade, into pivoting into what is a full life for me? What do I want in this season of my life? Because you're going to go through different seasons of your life, and you're going to be in different stages, and you're going to have different roles in your life that you're going to take on, and your wants will change. And it's okay to change your mind. But one thing it's not okay to do is to change your mind on what you want, what you really want, what you believe is going to bring you a full and authentic life. what's going to bring you to living life intentionally and on purpose. It's going to bring you harmony within your heart and within your mind and within your spirit. And it's going to bring you joy. What's going to bring you whatever it is that you're wanting, health, prosperity. And how do I acquire this today? How do I feel these things today, even though maybe I have not yet achieved it, like in the materialistic? But where can I find prosperity inside of my circumstances and situations? Where can I find harmony within my mind? Where can I find harmony within? Where can I find health within, my day? And these things are just asking these questions and knowing, what do I want and what do I need in this season of my life? What do I want and what do I need in this season of my life in order for me to feel like I can live a full life right now? So what is that one thing that you're looking for? If you understand like what a want is, a goal is a want. What do I want? And it's okay if you don't know, because as I told you, the statistics, so I didn't finish the stats. So the stats were showing 80% of people don't even set goals. And what I found was because either you've lost belief in your ability to get what you want based on past experiences, that loss of belief in your ability to achieve whatever it is that you really want. And then you start to kind of either drift, or you allow other people to run the show, meaning the show of your life, or you don't want to take personal responsibility. You want somebody else to run it for you, which never allows you to feel like you're living life fully or authentically, because somebody else is controlling your life. Somebody else is controlling your mind. Somebody else is controlling and taking away your peace. And then also out of the other 20%, only 14% out of that, they set goals, but they never reach them. What's up, Mickey? So they would set goals and they never reached them. You were in the goal setting workshop. And out of that, then the 6%, they actually reached and achieved their goals. And it's just fascinating because only 6% out of 7.8 billion people actually are achieving their goals. But I'm curious to know, how out of that 6%, how many of them are actually living a full life, living a full authentic life? Because you could set a goal based on materialistic things, yet you never really feel whole or satisfied, or you feel like accomplished, or that you achieve things. You just still crave and want more. So hopefully this makes sense for you guys, because this is some really deep stuff. And there's, my goal is to make sure that you start believing in yourself until you do. All right. And to also give you this information to know that there's so much more to what you think that there is. Like, if you're not achieving or reaching or accomplishing things with fulfillment, there's typically blocks or subconscious things or things that have gone on that you're not even aware of. You've got blinders up. So when you set goals, they were saying in here, and in each category of goals, we got 3 types of goals, which I'm going to share in this series. I'm going to do like the rest of December based on, these conversations on goals and habits. But they were even saying in here that our negative feelings can interfere with our goals because they blur our vision and even cause self-defeating thoughts. And those self-defeating thoughts is where we really become a liability to ourselves versus an asset. That mental chatter, that mental conversation can be very, very self-defeating if we're not on top of it, if we're not controlling it. And even the most positive people, might have those inner demons. If you are keeping up with social media today, that guy Twitch, you would never think he's got this beautiful wife, this beautiful family, wealthy. They're doing all these like dancing videos, committed suicide. And on the outside, he looks like healthy and prosperous and happy. And in the inside, there was clearly mental demons, and there's that story of two wolves. Have you guys heard that story of two wolves? Just put in yes in the chat box. Yes, no. So there's this Cherokee Indian, and he was explaining to his grandson one day about the story of two wolves. And there was a very intense battle going on. And in this battle, there was this battle between evil of greed and envy and jealousy and hatred. And then the other side was kindness and love and compassion and joy and all these like wonderful things. And there was this battle going on. And then he stopped. And the grandson says, "Grandpa, who won? Who won?" And he goes, "The wolf you feed." So, meaning every day there's a battle between good and evil within ourself, within our mind. Every day those thoughts of, oh, I would really love to pursue a career in real estate, or I'd really love to, be a best-selling author. I'd really love to pursue a career in this or that, or I would love to make millions of dollars, or I would love to, whatever it may be. And then the other voice is like, you're too old. You're too dumb. It's too late. You don't have enough money. You can't do this. Who do you think you are? Like that, the voice of doubt comes in. And every day you have the opportunity to fight back with light and be like, yes, I do. Yes, I can. I can do one thing. I could take an acting class. I can go and, study this. I can find somebody who has done it. You remember that 4-minute mile? They did that 4-minute mile where everybody's like, no, you cannot break 4 minutes. Everybody tried. Then there was one human being. Let me find the name of the person who broke the 4-minute mile. Who broke the 4-minute mile? You guys know who did that 4-minute mile? Roger Bannister. Roger Bannister, 4 minutes or less, was the first achieved in 1954. At age 25, he did 3 minutes and 59 seconds, like right on the dot. As of April 21st, the 4-minute mile barrier has been broken by 1,663 athletes and is now a standard of professional middle distance runners in several cultures. But for the longest time, nobody and everybody said there's no way you can break that 4-minute mile. Then Roger Bannister comes along and he practices not only physically, but mentally rehearse it. Can you imagine the battle, like those story of two wolves battling every single day in his head? But he held on. Which wolf won? The one that we feed. And every single day, and then eventually he broke it at 3:59. The moment he broke it, then like immediately, I think like 60 other people like all of a sudden could run it, because what was claimed after that? Belief was claimed. So when you don't believe in yourself, that's why we find stories and we find mentors and we find people. So when we don't think like our mind is strong enough, we mastermind, we affiliate with organizations of people that will pour into us until we can pour into ourselves, especially in things that we think are challenging to achieve, because we maybe have had a hard time, or there's been a lot of false programming based on our upbringing. And so that's the power behind masterminds and creating ecosystems or healthy environments of others that are doing what you want to do. They have what you want to have. They believe in you in moments when you don't believe in yourself. And those are the voices too that can add on top of making sure that you reach, achieve, and surpass your goals. And what is a goal? Let's come back to that. A goal is something that you really want, something that God has intentionally placed inside of your heart, and it keeps reminding you like, hey, write that book. Hey, get on stage, start speaking. Hey, join that, like do that project, like whatever it is that's inside, like that beat, that life force that's inside of you that is wanting to come out of you, that's needing to be created. It's inside of you. And it keeps calling on you, it keeps pulling at you. And you're either going to listen and start taking action on it, or you're going to keep shutting it up and shutting it down. And that's what leads to severe depression and anxiety and regret. And that's not living life. It's not living. And then you go by and your whole life is gone. You're like, oh, I'll do it later. I'll start that thing later. And I want to tell you a story like real fast is I knew that I needed to establish a skill set in order to take my career to the next level. And I kept being drawn to this one mentor. And I noticed he had this event in Vegas, and it was so out of my budget. I didn't even have a budget. I didn't even have the money. I was like, I was like, there's no freaking way. But then that moment, something inside of me is like, you need to go to this. You need to go to this. You need to learn from him. And I was so scared. And I said, I made a decision. And I'm in the power of making a decision is so strong. Like doors will open up for you the moment you make a decision. I said, okay, I'm going to go. I don't know how I'm going to afford it. I don't know how I'm going to get there. I mean, I got to get a room. I got to get this. I ended up like finding other girls that were going. So we ended up splitting the cost of the room. There was like 3 of us that split the cost of like one room in Vegas. And I ended up like closing some really like amazing deal, like super last minute to get the trip. I ended up going. It was like a 4-day event. It was amazing. I gained so much knowledge on questions that I needed answered and skill sets that I knew I had to establish in order to take myself to the next level, financially and business wise, and to build the confidence that I needed in order to like get me to another level in my career. And I'm so grateful that I went, because in my mind, we think that things are always going to be there. And the following year, I got the news, because I was going to do a continuing education, that he had passed away. And nobody was teaching his stuff anymore. This guy was a genius. People would travel all over the world to come and learn from him. And if I didn't follow my intuition to do it now and to make a decision that I was going and trusting that the resources would come to me. Not that I was going to sit there twiddle my thumbs. Like I was taking massive action. But I made the decision, I'm going. And something, when you make that decision, things will pour to you to make sure that you get to that destination, right? A decision is also a goal, but it's also like I made the decision and it's happening. There is a target. And I'm not drifting from the target. I'm not get distracted from the target. It's like there. So decision was made. I'm going. I didn't let my excuses get in the way. I didn't let my situation or my circumstances get in the way. I went, and I ended up making 10 times more my money back within like 60 days. Something that I was so afraid of, because I established a strong skill set. I established a lot more confidence in myself because I had developed a skill set that I needed. And that expanded my money. It expanded like my level of professionalism. It expanded just everything. But if I would have waited, the storyline would have been a little bit different. And I say this because when we set goals are not going to wait on us. Our goals are not going to wait on us. And every moment that we're delaying showing up for what we want, like time just passes by. And this comes back into this quote. What does it mean to live a full life? What does it mean to live a full life? And every single day we have a decision to make as far as the internal voices in our head. Who do you think you are? You don't have enough money. You don't have the resources. Like, you're not going to fit in. You don't belong here. You don't have that yet. Da, 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 da. And the other side is like, you need to go. This is how you get to the next level. This is how you're going to scale. This is how you're going to grow. This is how you're going to da, da, da. This is how you're going to, like, you need to go. you said you needed something, and this is the something. We are guiding you to go. Trust that the resources will be provided. And it always kind of brought me back to like, this is funny. I hope my mom isn't watching. But whenever I make decisions, when it comes down to waiting, I love my mom. So when I was a kid, we would go to TJ Maxx. Okay. Do you guys know about TJ Maxx? Oh my gosh. It's like the worst. And my mom loved TJ Maxx. I mean, we grew up with money. Okay. But my mom just loved TJ Maxx. And we go to TJ Maxx, and I always just sit in the car. I was like, Mom, I'm not going in there. She's like, I just got to run in. Didn't we say, like, I just got to run in? And it's like an hour and a half later. You're like, really? Really? She's like, I'm just going to run in. 90 minutes later, she comes back with like one thing. Like one thing. Paulina, we're talking about a TJ Maxx story. You know about TJ Maxx? So she's like, okay, I got to run in for I got to get something. And then she comes back like one thing, right? I'm like, Mom, you were in there for 90 minutes. How did you come out with one thing from TJ Maxx? She's like, oh, well, I put like, I was going to put something on hold, but I'm going to come back for it later and I'll get it later. I don't want to get it now. And instead of like just getting it and then maybe returning it later, she's waiting. But if you know TJ Maxx, like, it's like gone, right? It's like you see it, it's gone, especially the good stuff. Like it's like in, out, done. And they don't consistently like fuel it back up. So my mom always had this mentality of like, let me get it later, let me wait. And I always remember it always being gone. So I correlated like waiting as far as like it's gone. So the moment you're waiting, like that opportunity is gone. So when I tell you guys, hey, I'm hosting a free workshop, like get in there because it's going to be gone. And I just remember that. So I think like, even though it is very frustrating as a child going to these TJ Maxx runs with my mom, it's also taught me a very great lesson at a young age where like, don't wait. Like if you are going to get something, get it. And then you can always go back and like course correct, or you can go back and fix it, or you can go back and like return it, but get it now. Get it now. If there's something inside of you that says like, now I need to invest in this course. Like now I need to do this. Now I need to do that. Like do it now, because you don't know if the opportunity is going to be gone by the time you're ready. Because let me tell you something, ready doesn't exist. And I shared this with a story, I think a little while ago with one of my private clients. I was speaking at an event, and one of the things, if you guys go to events, and I know some of you in here, when you go to these events, they're literally like 3 days long, and you got to be in there. I mean, especially if there's like a time change, a 3-hour time change, 5-hour time change, something like that. You go to these events, they start like around 9, and you know us ladies have to get ready. So really like we start getting ready, and we get there by like 9. What's up, Mike? And we get to these events. They're all day long. You get maybe like one meal. You're like dehydrated. You're hangry. But there's so much action going on that you're like high on conversations. And I always carry like a tote bag. So if you guys see me at events, I got my tote bag on my tote bag. And in my tote bag, I have snacks, and I got a big ass thing of water. And I remember going to one of the events, I had my water, my snacks, and I'm walking in my heels and like all in my like, jacket, suit and stuff. And God, this is so inconvenient. This is really annoying, carrying all this stuff, because it's probably like 15 pounds in my bag. And then another thought comes by where I'm talking to one of my clients at the time who's hosting the event. And he's like, man, I'm cramping up. I got cramps in my calves and I got a headache and I got a migraine. And I'm like, well, when's the last time you drank some water? And he's like, I just had a coffee. And that was like 7 hours ago. There's like no water. I was like, okay, well, that's a consequence. So you have to remember, there's always going to be a consequence, and a consequence just means an outcome. So when I do this, this is the outcome. When I don't do this, this is the outcome. So the outcome is either desired or undesired. What type of outcome do I want? Do I want the outcome of an inconvenience? Because this person convenient 15 pounds of water and snacks, but the consequence is I'm hydrated and I'm in a good mood. People are like, how's your energy so great? I'm fed and hydrated. Like, I'm fed and hydrated. But so you have to decide, like, life is like that. There's never a such thing as ready. Like, I don't even think that was a proper sentence. Let me do it over again. Ready doesn't exist. You have to do things, even though you're doing something when it's inconvenient, it's better than having an undesired consequence. So I want you to think about that as you're setting up your goals and you're getting clear on what do I want in my life that is going to allow me to live a full life. All right. So in this quote I was saying earlier, am I living this brief time fully and authentically? And what does it mean to live a full life? And I want you to think about this story of waiting. You know, that story of TJ Maxx that I said, like, there's never going to be a right time, and waiting doesn't exist, because the moment you wait, that opportunity probably will not be there again for you. This is so true. My second conference, I took snacks and 2 bottles of water being with you. Right? It's annoying. It's so annoying. I'm 100% with it. I'm like walking to my heels. I'm like, this shit's so heavy. This is annoying. And I'm like sipping on my water. I got my tea in my bag. Yeah. And I was like in a good mood the whole time. And everybody else is getting cramps, Charlie horses, migraines, headaches, you know, and then you go back and then you're starving and you overeat and then you're drinking alcohol. And it's just like this downward cycle. And for what? You can make a decision. Remember, it comes down to making a decision and understanding there's a difference between inconvenient and consequence. All right. And getting clear on, like, what do I want? So because I'm clear on how I want to show up every single day, I want to show up with vitality. I want to show up as my most elite self. I want to show up as conscious love. I want to show up healthy, mentally, physically, emotionally healthy and strong AF, focused AF, productive AF, clear-minded, mentally sharp. Like, all these things are intrinsic power words. And then every decision, every conversation, everything that I do is in alignment to that. You know, you can't fake those things, but there's, you know, different things behind all of this stuff. And, you know, so when you're setting your goals, like this year, because this is a great time to get clear, make sure they align to living a full life. You know, what is living a full life? And then every day you have the ability to line up to that, what brings you fulfillment. And there's certain things that do have to be non-negotiables for you to really operate at those heightened levels of consciousness. But that's my spiel for today. Just getting clear on goals and sharing that quote with you guys. And then also getting clear on the story I told you about Roger Bannister with that 4-minute mile and the story of 2 wolves. So I'm going to save this post. You can go back and watch a little bit later. But I'm going to be going live every single day. And I don't know, let me know what times are good for you guys, because I'm still playing around with times and seeing what times work. But I love you guys. You're amazing. Keep doing amazing things. And drop your comments below. Let me know how you're doing. All right, you guys. Bye. In case nobody told you, I love you. You're doing amazing. Love you guys. Make good decisions.